Hey guys, my name is Deb Marnie and I'm from Aussie Maille, and this is our chainmail tutorial channel. Hey guys, big hi, hello, welcome, how are you? Thanks for popping in today and spending some time with me. It is truly awesome to see you again. All right, so today I've got a redo of an old live video for you. This one was done back in 2017. Now, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing this correctly, but we are looking at doing the Valarias Dragonspine weave. I mean, with a name like that, of course we have to redo it. All right, guys, let's jump straight into it. Okay, so I've got some sample pieces of the Valarias Dragonspine weave made up for you. Those sizes will be coming up here on the side of the video. You'll also be able to find them down in the description tab, which you will find underneath this video. In there, you'll find links to further information, people that created the weave, links to our website, all sorts of useful information will be in the description tab. But to run through these with you right now, this full bright aluminium piece over here, the large rings that you can see here in the center, those ones are 14 gauge AWG, that's 1.6 millimeter diameter wire, and that has a ring ID of 7 millimeters. And the remaining rings that make up the European 4-in-1 section, those are 16 gauge AWG, that's 1.2 millimeter diameter wire with a ring ID of 4.5 millimeters. Our next size, the bright aluminium rings in the middle, they are 16 gauge AWG, 1.2 millimeter diameter wire with a ring ID of 5.25 millimeters. And then the colored rings are 18 gauge AWG, that's 1 millimeter diameter wire, and the ring ID for these ones are 9/64ths of an inch or 3.57 millimeters. And then finally, our finer version here, the large bright aluminium rings in the center, they're 18 gauge AWG, 1 millimeter diameter wire with a ring ID of 4.5 millimeters, and the anodized rings are 20 gauge AWG, that's 0.8 millimeter diameter wire, a ring ID of 7/64ths or 2.78 millimeters. Okay, so I'm going to make the bigger version, the bright aluminium version, but I'm going to make a couple of changes to the ring sizes that I use, just so that I can use a colored ring so that you can see the definition of the weave. So you start by making a European 4-in-1 piece as your center chain, and I would normally do that in the 1.2 millimeter, 4.5 millimeter ID rings. But for this, I'm going to actually use 3/16ths of an inch, which is 4.76 millimeters. So it's going to be a little bit more open, a little bit more loose, but just for this purpose, so I can show you the difference between the bright aluminium and the anodized aluminium, just a little bit easier for you. So as I said, we're going to start by making a centerpiece of European 4-in-1. Now, if you don't know how to do European 4-in-1, I do have several tutorials that utilize European 4-in-1, and I'll link a couple up here in the corner for you as you go through. But basically, I'm going to take an open ring and I'm going to pop 2 rings onto that. Now, you can pre-close these 2 rings if you like, or you can leave them as they come out of the bag and then just close them up like I am doing now. Whatever works best for your workflow, go ahead and do that. If you need to pre-close the rings, pause the video, go pre-close yourself some rings and then come back. Otherwise, pop 2 rings onto a 3rd ring, close them all up. Now I'm going to use a twist tie at the bottom here. It just gives me a handle to hold on to, and it also helps keep the weave under control. Okay, so I'm going to position my 3 rings now, sort of like a mouse's head, okay? So we've got their little ears here, and we've got their forehead looking at us, okay? And holding our piece like that, we're going to take up a new opened ring. I'm going to come down through the front of the ear here on the right, twist it around, and come up through the back of the ear on the left. Okay, and then before closing, we're going to pop on 2 new rings. Now, because my rings aren't pre-closed, I'll go ahead and close them up now. But if you've pre-closed your rings, then obviously you won't have to do this step. Once you've closed all your rings up, position your work again so that we again have the 2 little ears looking at us and the forehead looking at us. Okay, you don't want to turn your work around and sort of have the back of it looking at you. That will muck up your rings. Make sure that you've always got the forehead here looking at you. So you want to go ahead and create your center piece of European 4-in-1. It will need to be a little bit longer than you need, not a great deal longer, a little bit longer than you need, but European 4-in-1 is very easy to add to, so there is no problem if you don't get the length quite right the first time through. Okay, but I'll do that just once more for those that haven't done European 4-in-1 before. Okay, we've got our little mouse's head looking at us. He's facing us with his forehead. We're going to take an open ring. We're going to feed it down through the front of the ear on the right, swing our working ring around so it comes up through the back of the ear on the left. And then before closing, we want to take up 2 new rings, pop them on our center ring and close it up. And again, because my rings are fresh out of the bag, I need to close them as well. So pause the video, guys, and go ahead and make your European 4-in-1 piece. You will want to end it with just a single ring at the top. So once you're confident with the length that you've gotten it to, you just want to take a single open ring, feed it through the ears as you have been doing, but this time don't add any extra rings. And if you've got a spare twist tie, I would suggest popping another twist tie on the end there. As I said, it just is helpful. You can see that these rings do tend to fold a little bit when you let them loose. Giving it a good old tug on the twist ties brings the weave back into the position that you need it to be. So go ahead, guys, finish making up your European 4-in-1 centerpiece, and I'll meet you back here to show you the next steps. Okay, so I've made up my small piece of European 4-in-1 for my center chain, and now I'm going to add these large rings that you can see here in the weave. So to do that, I'm just taking up my largest ring and then going back to my chain here. I want to encircle the center ring. So we're not going through any rings here. We're just completely encircling the center ring on our chain. Now you can start right here at the beginning if you like, or you can move down to the second one and pop one in there. It's a little bit easier if you've got a little bit of weave here to begin with. It depends on what you like the look of. But all I do here is I expose that center ring that I'm going to put my new ring around. Opening up my new ring, I'm just literally just feeding it around that center ring and very carefully coming in and closing it up. Okay. And the ring looks like that. So keep in mind that the coloured rings are a little bit larger than I would normally use, so that centre ring does look a little bit smaller than perhaps it does here on the bright aluminium version. So you do want that ring to be, you know, not so big that it falls off your large piece, off your centre piece, sorry, but you don't want it too small that it gets lost in there either. So there you go, we've placed one ring there. And then what I'm going to do, just to secure that all into place, this time I'm going to be using a 4.5mm ring. just in the bright aluminium so that you can see the path that the ring takes. We want to secure the center ring that we've just placed and each side ring on either side of that center ring. Okay, so we just want to pick up the ring there at the front, our center ring, and then the side ring at the back, and close it up. And we want to do the same on the other side. Take up a new ring. I've turned my work around and I'm just working from bottom to top this time, whatever works easiest for you. But again, I'm just picking up those 3 rings again. So the center ring and then the side ring that sits either side of our bright aluminium, our large bright aluminium ring. Okay, and that's it. So then we take up a new large ring and we skip the next center ring, we go down to the following one. Okay, so we've got one large ring around this center ring, we're skipping this one here and we're going to our next center ring, and again we're putting our large ring just around. It doesn't go through any rings. Okay, make sure that it does not go through any of your center chain. It is just orbiting your chain there. Okay, so you can see that doesn't go through anything at all. It is just sitting around the chain. This is why you don't want your center ring to be too big, because we don't want it to just easily slip off this chain. Once you've got that in place, take up one of your side rings. And again, we're looking for the side ring in our centerpiece, in our base weave, that sits at the front and at the back of our large ring that we just placed. So picking up all 3 of those rings and joining them together. Okay, and then doing the same on the other side of our work. Picking up the center ring and the 2 side rings that are at the front and the back of our center ring. And our work looks like this. To place one more, take up a large opened ring. So we skip the next center ring in our European 4-in-1. We go down to the following ring. Okay, so placing our large ring around our center ring, making sure we don't go through any of our anodized rings there in the center. Close your ring up. Your work should look like this, so you can see our skipped ring just here. This is the ring that we skipped and we went around the next one. So we've got a ring around here, we skip a ring around the next, then taking up one of our locking rings, we feed that through our center ring, the ring that sits in front of it, and the ring that sits behind it on that side. Close it up. And I'm just going to turn my work around so I can easily access the other side. And do the same over here, making sure I pick up those same 3 rings, or same rings in the same position on the other side. Sorry about that. There you go. That is all it takes to make up Valarias Dragonspine. And you just keep doing that for the length of the piece that you're working on. All right, my lovelies, well, that is it. That is the video tutorial for today. I hope you found it useful, of more use than the live video was. If you did enjoy the video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up here on YouTube. Share the video around if you like. If you haven't become a subscriber with us already, that would be awesome if you would consider doing that for us. And a big thank you to those of you who are already subscribed. While you're here, don't forget to get our shop link up here in the corner, a little bit of love and affection. That's where we sell the bits and bobs and what's and jigs you're going to need to whip up this weave and all the others that we show you here. All right, guys, thanks once again for popping in and seeing me. It was lovely to see you. Keep safe, keep well, and I am sure we will see each other again sometime very soon. All right, guys. See you later. Bye. Mwah.